Next up is poet John Holgerson.
Okay, so now we're going to bring in a ringer, uh, one of our favorites, John Holgerson.
So now I'm not so sure I'm going to say what I was going to say, which is thank you to the America Hometown Laureates for this event and for the Uva Wine Bar for providing a venue. Of all the venues, if you can't have an art gallery reading, a bar reading will do pretty well. The third choice I have is a bookshop, which leads me to an unpaid public announcement that on June the 18th in the Serendipity Bookshop in Taunton, Massachusetts on Main Street at 6:30, there'll be a poetry reading by a group of poets called Uncommon. And I am one of the 4 poets in that group, and the 2 poets that are going to follow me at this microphone, Elizabeth Birch and Mark Walsh, are 2 of the others. And the only one missing is Brian Mosier, who couldn't be here tonight. So if you find yourself wandering Main Street in Taunton on Wednesday, June the 18th, whether it's intentional or unintentional, please feel free to drop into the Serendipity Bookshop. The first poem I'm going to read, we often read our newest poems because we think that they're our best inventions, and sometimes they are. But I'm going to read a poem that I wrote in the late fall, early winter of 1976. And it was just before my wife and I got engaged. I don't really know if there's a correlation between the poem and that event. There may have been. It's called Robin at Christmas. Snow falls on the roads leading from this city, the roads I nearly took when I thought cold froze grace and beauty. With your touch and smile, all God has made, I hold. Grace and beauty thaw with words free from guile. Snow obliterates the roads. A little bit more recent poem, a few years ago, I was in another bar in a Mexican restaurant celebrating a birthday of a young woman, and she had been given a gift certificate for a tattoo, and this would be her first tattoo. So I asked her if she'd thought about the design for the tattoo, and she didn't answer me with words. She reached into her purse and took out a pen, and on a napkin, she drew the design that I describe in the poem. I've heard that great ideas have come from conversations had in the bars of Mexican restaurants, so I hope this turns out to be one of them. It's called Unnecessary Tattoo. A bruised heart, cleaved in 2, stitched down the middle. No mystery or enigma here, no obscure or secret riddle. It's there, behind your eyes. It's the catch in your voice at the mention of star-crossed lovers or the vagaries of choice. It can be seen in the ashes of the cigarettes you snuff out, the lingering sparks of memory in your holy grail of doubt. Don't tell me when it's done, the needle round and thin, the short, hot veneer of pain, the stain upon the skin. It's just another private part you'll probably hide from view, a duplicitous reminder, an unnecessary tattoo. So we are living in perilous times. Books are being taken from the shelves of the Library of Congress by the government because it does not want us to know the ideas that are in those books. Institutions of higher education are being told what they must teach and what they must not teach by the government. People in our society walking down the street are abducted by men in masks, thrown into vans, and stashed away in foreign prisons. If you are an artist, whether you're a writer, a painter, a singer, a songwriter, a playwright, an actor, it's my belief you have a responsibility to speak out and against these things that are so adverse to our values as an American society. Democracy isn't just a noun, it's a verb, an active verb. This poem is called Warning. It was inspired by a poem of the same name by the late Canadian poet Leonard Cohen. If your neighbor disappears, oh, if your neighbor disappears, the Hispanic man from Venezuela who helped you paint your house, or the young woman who babysat your children while dressed proudly in that rainbow-colored blouse. If your neighbor disappears, oh, if your neighbor disappears, don't ask what happened to the multi-tatted black man who lived on your block, or the foreign college student with whom you like to talk. Beware of the men wearing balaclavas who cruise our streets each day. They have plans you can't ignore, or else they'll come a-tapping, rapping, pounding on your door when your neighbor disappears. Oh, when your neighbor disappears. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
We are so glad you stopped by. If you would like to support community in action through media, please consider donating to the local scene. The QR code here will take you where you need to go. Thanks, friend.